Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm super glad to have you here. If you're new to the channel, in this video we are going to talk about marshmallow root benefits, warnings, side effects, as well as what it's used for, the flowers, the leaves, the root, everything you need to know to get started using this wonderful herb for your health, for the health of your family, and also to boost the immune system to help with digestive discomforts and to help with fighting colds and flus and coughs as well. This is a wonderful, gentle herb that can be used in so many different ways we are going to discuss in this video, so I hope you found this helpful. If you're new to the channel, welcome. We do daily videos talking about all sorts of different herbs and spices and essential oils and holistic methods to boost your health and wellness. And we also talk about them in extreme detail and some of them in brief as well, and link to specific anecdotal evidence as well as recent scientific evidence based on that as well. So these videos are for informational purposes only. So starting off with marshmallow in general, I don't want to say root specifically. I know that the root is used most commonly in many of the specific symptoms that we'll be covering about in this video, but when it comes to marshmallow, it's actually a great herb that's used to heal from many different ailments. It's used in ancient Egypt times. It's also been used by the Greek as well, and the main botanical name, although it means to heal in Greek. So the root, it's really rich in sugars, natural sugars, and it's very softening for the tissues as well. The leaves, on the other hand, are different to the root, and they're used as an expectorant, and they're a very soothing remedy for the urinary system. So any problem with urinary tract infection, for example, urinary system, marshmallow is the way to go, and that is specifically marshmallow leaf. So both the leaves and the root, they also can be used as a vegetable, and all members of the mallow family have basically the same properties with a little bit of variety here and there, but they are and they can be used medicinally as well. So lovely here, and they're quite beautiful. My favorite is the root, and I use it for the whole family when it comes to, using it in the elderberry syrup, using it for tea. And there's different ways to prepare the leaves and the different ways to prepare the root in terms of that. We will get to that in this video. So marshmallow in general as a herb, it's very cooling, it's very moist, and it's very sweet. The flowers are rich in flavonoids, the leaves are rich in salicylic and also other phenolic acids, and the roots are also rich in tannins as well. So different properties and different variations, as you can tell here. I've just simply entered marshmallow in Amazon. So yeah, marshmallow root or herb, basically in general, it's what we're trying to aim for, not the marshmallow herb. You can tell here there are the root capsules, as well as the tincture, the extract, and the tea as well. So many different products and different brands will also advise you on what is the best way to choose them. So the flowers, they are rarely available commercially because it's mostly the root and the leaves that you will find. But when it comes, if you ever come across the marshmallow flowers, and if you do have marshmallow growing around you, or if you are into planting herbs, marshmallow is a beautiful herb to plant. You will use every single piece of it, from the root to the leaves to the flowers, medicinally. So if you're into planting, marshmallow is the way to go. So the flowers are really important because they're mainly used in sorts of different syrups, cough syrups, and medicinal syrups as well. If I had access to marshmallow flowers, I would definitely put them in my elderberry syrup. And the leaves are mainly used to soothe and heal bronchitis and also urinary disorders, and they're really good for conditions such as bronchitis, irritating coughs, and cysts as well. So if you're into planting and harvesting, the leaves, you want to harvest them after the flowering in the late summer, but the flowers, you want to harvest them in summer. And when it comes to the root, we have different ways of using the root. We have just using the root as a dried version. You can also powder the root up and use it that way, and you can create a medicinal paste from the root. So the root, externally, it can be used for wounds, burns, boils, also ulcers as well. Internally, It is really important and really powerful for inflammations of all sorts, inflammations of the mucous membranes, gastritis, also enteritis and peptic ulceration as well. Also great to ease hiatus hernia and great for urinary inflammations as well. So if you're into harvesting the root, it's really important to harvest the root when the plant is mature in the in the early winter and late autumn is the best time to harvest the root. So usually, to be honest, when I am using marshmallow, I just go through the purchasing the dried root, and then I just simply grind it up. So as you can see, it is quite common. We've got so many different brands out there that are selling the root more compared to the actual leaves and the flowers as well. So the root is the best way to go. But when it comes to the root specifically, great for inflammation, as we said, but great for people who have IBS, for people who have digestive discomfort as well. When it comes to, digestive discomfort, bloating, gas as well, and irritable bowel syndrome. I've used the marshmallow root for my 4-year-old when it comes to his irritable bowel syndrome. It has helped in a major way in order to ease his food sensitivity as well. So I've made that and given that to him as a tea. So let's look at the different ways to use the marshmallow for medicinal use. So starting off with the flowers, as we said, best way to use the flowers, I would preserve them, to be honest, if I had access to the flowers, but best way to use the flowers is use them as a syrup, and also use them as a syrup by making them as an infusion first, putting them with the hot water and then making an infusion and then adding them to elderberry syrup, any sort of cough syrup that we've discussed in the last video. So many essential and powerful cough syrups that you can make them at home, and if you have access to marshmallow flour, definitely use that. It is a gentle edible flour that can be used in your syrups and in your medicinal making properties as well. So the leaves are a bit different because when you make an infusion out of the leaves, you can use it for bronchitis and for urinary disorders as well, and also to give your immunity a little bit of a boost because the leaves are having that essential flavonoids and salicylic and other compounds that are important from the immune system and for the health in general. How about the root? Well, the root can be used differently, and so many uses for the root. First of all, you can make a deconcussion, which is a concentrated infusion from it. So you can use it for inflammations such as cystis and also other inflammations as well. And the way to do a deconcussion using the marshmallow root is to simply, and this best describes the marshmallow root. If I can get a bigger picture of it, as you can tell, it's very, very gentle and actually feels like cotton once you touch it. So it's extremely beautiful. And so to make the deconcussion, you just simply use 25 grams of the root to 1 liter of water, and you boil it down to about 750 mils. 25 grams of the root, 1 liter of water, boil it down to 750 mils, and then you can use it that way. You can also make a tincture from the root as well. So glycerin-based tincture would be great. I have used the glycerin tincture from iHerb, if I can find it here, for my son when it comes to his IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. That has worked great as well. So you can use tincture for inflammations of the mucous membranes, for digestive disorders, and also urinary symptoms as well. You can also make a poultice out of the root by simply using the root or the paste of the powdered root. You mix it with water and you use it topically for skin inflammations and for ulcers as well. You can also use it as an ointment for wounds, for skin ulcerations, and also to help to draw out the splinters. Simply, in order to make the marshmallow root ointment, you need to melt 50 grams of lanolin, 50 grams of beeswax, and 300 grams of paraffin together. Then you heat 100 grams of powdered marshmallow root in the liquid fat for an hour over a water bath. And then when it's cool, you simply stir in 100 grams of the powdered slippery elm bark. This is how to make the marshmallow root. Super powerful, super effective recipe. If you want me to make a specific video in general, making the marshmallow ointment using the following ingredients, showing you step by step, simple, easy process, please comment in the comment section below this video about that, so I know to make a specific video because there is demand for it. So one thing that I wanted to point out when it comes to making the infusion or the concussion with the an infusion mainly with the marshmallow root is, if you want to make tea with the marshmallow root, there is a specific way that has worked greatly for me, and it's also been much more effective in getting the benefits of this marshmallow root. So I simply, rather than using boiled water to make the tea, I simply add warm water towards the colder side, because I find that the boiling water destroys much of the benefits of the marshmallow root. So I tend to use warm towards the colder side of the water, and then infuse it for about, let's say, about 4 hours, 4 to 5 hours, and then drink it. This is specifically great as a digestive tonic, also for irritable bowel syndrome, any digestive discomforts. Using warm water rather than boiling water on the marshmallow root in order to make a simple tea is great. You need to also infuse it for many hours, because I like to make the herbal infusions rather than just a simple tea in general, where I would infuse the herb in the water for a minimum of 4 to 8 hours. So usually overnight it has worked best. So let's talk about the little bit of word caution here, just warnings to look out for when you are using marshmallow. So if you're using marshmallow as a tincture from the marshmallow root for specifically digestive and urinary disorders, you can make sure that you use that cold water, that warm toward the colder water method here, in order to extract all the benefits. And also you need to make sure, if you are using the tincture for digestive and urinary disorders, and the tincture is based from an alcohol rather than a glycerin, you need to reduce the alcohol if you're making the tincture. So make sure that the alcohol is at its minimum, or make sure if you are using, make sure if you are using the marshmallow root tincture, in order to fight digestive and urinary problems, use a glycerin-based tincture rather than an alcohol-based tincture. Because if you use an alcohol-based marshmallow tincture, it will completely get rid of the whole reason why you are using it, in order to help with the digestive problems as well, and the urinary problems. So opt for the glycerin, the alcohol-free tincture, if you want to use it. It's great. It's amazing. It works just as fine, and it will also be gentle on your urinary system and on your digestive system as well. So we've come towards the end of our video. If you've enjoyed today's video, please like, share, and subscribe. We would love to have you on board. Take care and have a great day. Bye bye.